was on TikTok last night, and I was scrolling through, da-de-da-de-da, and it's nice seeing the patriots in the comment section bringing down the pain upon the libs. I'll tell you what, everybody's seeing verifiable proof that when I call out the Democrats, the crazies, for wiping caca on Teslas, and that's normal for the Democrat Party, all the Democrats come out and go, well, you don't know they're Democrat. You don't know. You don't prove it. Really? I was like, just go talk to them. They're on the street probably in the next couple hours screaming at Teslas. What do you mean prove it? Go talk to them. They're out there. They're making it seem like these people are rogue, that we don't know who they are. They're on camera. We know exactly who they are. And by the way, the same people that are protesting the Teslas and Elon Musk that are sticking their hand in their booties are the same people that are screaming at Teslas on the boulevard. They're not too far from here. I see them. Holy Lordy. We did not cancel Dark MAGA last night. We were live for an hour and a half. It was great. But we didn't go live till 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time because I didn't leave work till 4 o'clock. Now, if that means anything, that means I left work an hour later than what I was planning on leaving, but you got to get work done. I take my job serious. But I'm sorry. It's just one of those situations where I had to stay. So, and it was also one of those situations where you look up at the clock, you're like, oh my God, it's that time. Rough, but got to do my job. Got to do my job. We'll be live again for another Dark MAGA podcast this Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Always give me grace, right? Sometimes I say 4, sometimes I say 5. It's because of, well, work. Speaking of that, Donald Trump is putting in the work, folks. This is exactly what I prayed for. Trump signs historic executive order to secure U.S. elections, baby. Now's the time. This is exactly what we wanted. This is what we needed. And by the way, I hope Kash Patel and Dan Bongino finds out not only what went on truly with January 6th, because I think we know, right? We were conspiracy theorists for years, but then everything that we talked about came out being true. Hold on. No. I'm not done. Not just January 6th. I want to figure out what was going on with the pipe bombs outside the DNC and the RNC. I know Dan wants that as well. And I also want to figure out, hey, where did all those voters come from back in 2020 with that spike in the graph? Everything's like boop, 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 like a heartbeat. Boop, 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 boop. Where did all they come from? Where did they all come from? President Donald Trump signed an executive order on Tuesday strengthening the integrity of America's elections, delivering on a key campaign promise. Promises made. Promises kept. By the way, he was talking like that yesterday. Whoever's in Dark MAGA, now you know why my impressions are getting a little bit better, because Donald Trump is really milking the moments sometimes. I'll see if I can show the clip, okay? And you'll know what I'm talking about. He's taking more pauses. He's like, this is big. This is huge. Did y'all get that? Just wait and watch. Just wait. It's freaking great. Trump said that the executive order would go a long way toward ending election fraud in the country, and that further actions from the administration would be forthcoming in the coming weeks. Quote, perhaps some people think I shouldn't be complaining because we won in a landslide. Well, yes, Mr. President, I don't think anybody thinks that you're complaining, sir. You're just trying to make elections great again, and I don't blame you for it. So here's the UFO, the alien, and I like this guy. Okay, I'm not beating him up, but he looks like the guy from Galaxy Quest. We showed the picture. I'm not so sure this guy is real. Now, when Trump is talking, watch this guy's facial reactions because he's doing everything he can to contain it. So he'll talk for a while, but here we go.
Sir, we have an executive order for your attention on the very important subject of election integrity. We believe that this executive order is the farthest reaching executive action taken in the history of the Republic to secure our elections. Among numerous other aspects of this executive order, this is going to cut down on illegal immigrants on the voter rolls, ensure that the Department of Homeland Security and the data that they have available is being fully weaponized to ensure that illegal immigrants aren't voting. This will include a citizenship question on the federal voting form for the first time. This executive order instructs the EAC to cut federal funding to states that don't take reasonable steps to secure their election. This calls on the Department of Justice to vigorously prosecute election crimes, particularly in states that we don't believe are in compliance with federal law around election integrity. I could go on and on for a while, sir, but the compliance with National Election Day rules, cracking down.
She's like, Jesus, get to the point. Oh my gosh. Trump's like just sitting there, the pen's drying out.
Down and investigating and prosecuting foreign interference in our elections, revoking President Biden's Executive Order 14019, which essentially weaponized government to corrupt and pollute our election process. There's a lot in here, but we believe that these are very important steps that we need to be taking as an administration at your direction to ensure that our elections are as secure as they possibly can be.
It's like you're at the Cheesecake Factory asking your waiter what he recommends, and he's just reading off the freaking booklet at the Cheesecake Factory. Just endless.
Okay, you all understand that? Yes. Election fraud. You've heard the term.
I told you he takes pauses now.
At least this will go a long way toward ending it. There are other steps that we will be taking in the coming weeks, and we think we'll be able to end up getting fair elections. Perhaps some people think I shouldn't be complaining because we won in a landslide, but we got to straighten out our election. This country is so sick because of the election, the fake elections and the bad elections, and we're going to straighten it out one way or the other. And it's an honor to sign this one. To sign all of them, but to sign this one is a great honor.
I just love his new pauses. Did you get that? I think we all got it, Mr. President. That was the longest intro to an executive order I've ever heard in my entire life, but we got it. We got it, sweet Jesus. Yes, sir. And Democrats are complaining, folks. They don't want this, right? It's racist to ask for ID. Yeah, they've done street interviews after street interviews, and they went up and asked black people, do you think that's a little bit racist? Daily Wire actually did a street interview a while ago, going up to black people and asking them, hey, are you able to get an ID? Do you have an ID? Is that possible? Can you go get one? They're like, what the hell are you talking about? And here we go. And Ami Horowitz. I have it right here for you, folks. We'll watch a little bit of this, but this isn't me saying it. This is what Democrats are saying about blacks, that they can't get IDs, which is insane to me. They're normal human beings. Come here. No, come here. Is this on? Democrats, I know you used to think that black people weren't human beings because you wanted to enslave them, and you did enslave them, and then you wanted to burn crosses on their lawns and fucking hang them and shit because you're psychos and you're crazy, just like you're sticking your hand in your ass right now and wiping it on Teslas and screaming and barking at people in Teslas in the streets. They're human beings. They can go get IDs. They're normal. Like all of us. They're normal. I don't get it. It's crazy to me. Yeah, they can't get IDs. What? They're people. I will never understand it for the life of me.
I'm Ami Horowitz, and I'm here in Berkeley, California to find out if voter ID laws suppress the black vote.
Here we go. By the way, this wasn't part of the normal programming. I just thought it would be fun.
Do you have an opinion on voter ID laws?
Yeah, they're usually pretty racist and they're bad.
I think voter ID laws are a way to perpetuate racism.
Would you go as far as say those laws are racist?
For sure.
Do you think it suppresses the African American vote?
Definitely.
Tell us how.
Because they're less likely to have state IDs.
Minority voters are less likely to have the kinds of IDs that have been described or required.
Oh shit, he took off his glasses. Careful, folks. Stop traffic. He's serious. The descent of intellectualism in there.
These type of people don't live in areas with easy access to DMVs or other places where they can get identification.
You can always get IDs, you do over the internet. Is that also would make it difficult for black people in particular?
Yeah, you have to have access to the internet. You have to be able to pay an internet service provider for certain fees.
Do you think that's harder for black people to go online?
Well, I feel like they don't have the knowledge of how it works.
A lot of people have smartphones, but you might not have data.
For most of the communities, they don't really know what is out there just because they're not aware or they're not informed.
I also think there's a repression of black voting with how if you're a convicted felon, you're not allowed to vote and everything. And when you look at swing states like Florida, that's a huge population of the African Americans.
Now I'm here in East Harlem to ask black people their thoughts on what you just heard.
It turns out when you just go ask people the question that either somebody's referring to or not, turns out you can just get the answer yourself. Just like them barking at the Teslas on the boulevard not too far from me. How do I know? You just go talk to them.
Do you have ID normally? You carry ID around?
Yes, I have state ID.
Do you carry ID?
Yes, I do.
Do you know any black person who doesn't carry ID?
No. Everyone that I know has an ID. Why would they think we don't have ID?
That's a lie. Why would they say that?
Do you have ID?
Yes.
I have my ID and my friends have their ID, so we know what we need to carry around.
Everybody that I know have ID. That's one of the things you need to walk around with New York with, an ID.
Do you know any black adult who does not have ID?
No, I don't.
Is it a weird thing to even say that?
Yes, it is.
What is this, some type of trick candy cameras?
I know, right? That's the only thing I brought with me.
Those are legit IDs. I heard a lot also that black people can't figure out how to get to the DMV.
Really?
What does that say to you?
I know it's at on 25th Street.
Do you know where the DMV is around you?
It's on 125th Street and 3rd Avenue, I believe.
You know how to get there?
Yeah.
Would you have a problem getting there if you had to get there?
No.
See how crazy they think it is? Because they get it. Democrats are crazy, dude. I know we know that. We've been saying it quite often, and we're going to continue to say it. It's a little messed. Somebody has to, look, they stumble in here every now and then. We know it. Somebody has to tell them, you're a little out of your mind if you think black people or minorities can't go get IDs. And then they can't fathom why they're losing the vote. I don't get it. I don't get it. It's racist. Yeah. Yeah, it's big time. It's insane. Oh, it's a lot of things. It's not just racist. It's just a lot of things that it's wrong with that. I mean, it's just, you try to wrap your head around it. But they're at Berkeley, right? I mean, this is where you'd want to go in order to get Democrat progressives' opinions. And this is what they're learning on campuses, folks. This is what they learn. They don't learn that Democrats were the party of slavery and wanted to keep it in place. They learn it in terms of U.S. history. Well, it's North and South. And then they claim there was some big switch that happened. They don't say really when, but it happened. Really, really bonkers, folks. Well, we got some other news coming in here. U.S. military staging serious firepower near Middle East. Big boom boom's coming soon, possibly on the Houthis, possibly on the Iranians. I think so. Let's see. The United States is moving serious military assets near the Middle East as President Donald Trump continues to pummel Iranian-backed Houthis. Oh, baby! Terrorists, we got to add there. We got to add terrorists in there. In Yemen, and has warned Iran that it must enter a nuclear deal in the next several weeks, or else its nuclear program will be eliminated. Now, Democrats think this is a problem because when you're rooting for terrorists to die, because it's either them or it's you and your family, you're a bad person. You're a bad man. Oh, you're so bad. No, I don't exactly want somebody to be roaming the same earth, breathing the same air, eating the same food as me that wants to see Western civilization wiped off the face of the earth. I don't even want to give them a chance. There's things called dirty bombs. All they need to do is poison the water supply, inject something into the atmosphere in some way, shape, or form, especially on a windy day. You've seen what happened in Los Angeles with the wildfires there. There's a lot of things that can go bad or go rogue. I don't know, fly another plane into a building or something crazy along those lines. Hell, I don't know. Not exactly sure. But what I do know is these terrorists have a lot of advanced technology now. They're not living out of caves like they were before. They actually have training camps, full-blown training camps where they have military tactical gear. They're not running around with the cloth around their head anymore, folks, and just with the shroud around their bodies. No, full on tactical gear. They look like Navy SEALs is what they look like. The War Zone reported that multiple, oh, baby, the big gun's out, huh? Look at this. Look at this. Oh, it looks good. Multiple B-2 Spirit stealth heavy bombers were en route. I got goosebumps, man. Those things are badass. To route the Indian Ocean island of Diego Garcia, an island, I'm working on it, and an island in the British Indian Ocean territory where the United States military has staged assets for attacks in the Middle East. Don't you guys judge me. Okay, I gave it my best shot. At least 3 B-2 bombers, 3 C-17 cargo. Jesus, Trump. Got a freaking order here. Give me a moment. This is a list. Yeah, Trump's serious here. Wait, 1 second. Look at this laundry list. Trump's out there. Give me a menu. At least 3 B-2 bombers, 3 C-17 cargo planes, 10 aerial refueling tankers were deployed to the strategic base over the last 48 hours, the report said. And Trump still wants more. A fourth B-2 bomber appears to have also been en route to the base when it was forced to make an emergency landing in Hawaii. Oh, God, if you're there. I just want to point something out. If you're a terrorist, you don't want to see this flying over you. Not that you would see it, because Trump would probably fly it in the dark of the night. The bad boy stealth, it ain't going to be picked up on radar. You ain't going to know what hit you. You'll be missed. The report said that additional information pointed to more B-2 bombers departed. Oh, and from Missouri, where all of America's B-2 bombers are located. Well, let's not throw that out there. We don't need to do that. Yeah, we don't need to write that stuff in articles, Daily Wire. Okay, I don't need the people, the terrorists, the enemy, China, to know where all our B-2 bombers are located. Just lovely. The report said that the deployment of bombers was a force package that is significantly larger than any kind of routine development or training exercise. B-2 bombers is the only aircraft capable of carrying the massive ordnance penetrator. I'm going to penetrate them so hard. I'm going to penetrate. I can't even do it. Give me a moment. Let me collect myself. Because Trump would say something like this. Those terrorists never been Fuck. I might not actually be able to do this one. Those terrorists have never been as penetrated as hard as I'm going to penetrate them. The world's most powerful bunker buster bomb. 30,000 pounds, man. That's insane. Capable of penetrating up to hundreds of feet of pure rock. Or a terrorist ass. One or the other. Or concrete before detonating a massive 6,000-pound high explosive warhead. I'm having too good of a time by myself here. I apologize. And you guys are just kind of watching and sitting back. I'm so sorry. I'm having a hell of a time right now. I'm sweating so bad in here. God. I blame Trump. He's the one that caught me off, with the election integrity things. Like, did you all get that? Right? Because he knows that it was a long list. A big ass bomb, dude. Fuck, 30,000 pounds? Like, shit, dude. What are you planning on blowing up? A bunker buster. Like blowing up entire mountains, it sounds like. Jeez, well, at least, dude. There is a mountain range that was known for centuries. Thousands of years, I'm told. Gone. All hell's gonna break loose on that mountain range if you don't come out with your hands up. He's out there with a little pistol. Alrighty. Well, in other news here, we got Democrats making fun of disabled people. Now, remember Donald Trump? Remember when Donald Trump went like this? And the media go, oh, how could you make fun of disabled people? It's terrible. And he wasn't. Is a completely fabricated narrative. This one's not fabricated. This individual legitimately was making fun of a disabled person, which just so happens to be Texas Governor Greg Abbott. I have the clip. Well, I thought I had the clip. Let me get it up for you. Where she was thinking she was funny, calling him. Well, I'll let her speak for herself.
Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the about him is that he is a hot mess.
We got to, just to explain for the audience, she's talking about Governor Greg Abbott of Texas, who was paralyzed jogging in Houston when a tree fell down after a storm. He is in a wheelchair. She calls him Governor Hot Wheels, I guess. Now, is this a good move? Is this the guiding light voice for Democrats? Jasmine Crockett.
Well, Will, I can talk in a fake accent too and move my head real fast, and then it sounds like I know what I'm saying, but that doesn't make it the case.
It caught me off guard. I've never seen him act like that. Guys, this is turning out to be great today.
Can't put those eyelashes on, though, because I would look completely ridiculous.
Oh, my God, dude. Mind you, this is the same lady that said illegal immigration isn't real. Y'all remember that? Jasmine something. It's not a crime. It's not real. Motherfucker, yeah, it is. Like, what the hell are you talking about? But they don't deal with reality. No. Reality was gone a long time ago, Patriots. Reality left the building years ago. I mean, folks, again, do we need to go through the list again? They don't think black people can get IDs. They think black people can't go to the DMV. They think black people don't know how to work a computer. Y'all remember Kathy Hochul on that one? I think it was Kathy Hochul, right? That said that black people didn't know how to work computers. And so a bunch of black people came out and started just smashing their hands on computers as memes, just to like joke around. It's fucking crazy, dude. And somehow we're the bad people. Somehow we don't know what's going on. Oh boy, we'll get to more news here in just one moment, folks. If you're having a good time, hit that like button both on Rumble and YouTube. It helps support the channel. And also, if you're wondering how we get energy like this behind the show, well, you know what it is, folks. You know what we're drinking in the mug every single morning, folks. Weak coffee is for the weak. And at Rumble, weak has never been a part of the mission. No fillers, no fraud, and no settling for mediocrity. Just like 1775 coffee, baby. And a single origin, small farm, hand-picked, specialty grade coffee that stands for quality, free speech, and calling out bullshit when it matters. Forget stale, mass-produced beans roasted just enough to hide the flaws. Dark roast hits like a Trump tariff, baby. Boom! You also have medium roast, keeps it bold. A lot of you like actually the medium roast without the bitterness. And vitality, mushroom blend, real energy and lasting focus, no synthetic garbage. For K-Cup pods, a lot of you have been asking for that. Wholesale beans or fresh ground coffee, go to 1775coffee.com. Again, 1775coffee.com. Use promo code STUDIO, all caps, for 15% off your order. And start your morning with coffee that stands for something. I'll tell you what, it's going to light your whistle. That's where we're at in the morning. Light your whistle, Brad? What are you talking about? Light your candle. Or you're also going to get every dollar spent enters you to win a Cybertruck and $30,000 cash. I still can't believe that offer. 1775coffee.com. Some of the best coffee you're going to get. And I love the fact it doesn't have that chemical-y taste. It's so good. Folks, I drink a cup now. I drink a cup at work. And then when we do a show later, usually I do another cup. Like, chill on the coffee, Brad. Jeez. It's so good, though, man. Because sometimes I don't drink. I'll make a little bit, and then I'll throw water in it just to wet my whistle. You know what I mean? Just to get the flavor of it. If you don't like coffee, I feel bad for you, because it's a game changer. The taste is so good. You got to drink it dark. So before I went to bed last night, I caught wind. I'm not done yet. I caught wind of this article. Easy, Patriots, easy. Come on, I know some of you in here. Not literally, but I know you because I read the chat enough. I've been asking for this. Now, let me backtrack. We all know Hamas goes into Israel, kills a bunch of people. It's like they're 9/11, absolutely atrocious and terrible. We got that. And then my thing was, then Israel comes in and starts just annihilating Gaza, right? It's a parking lot. It's dust. It's rubble. Everything. And my question was, is that Palestinians were pissed off, but I'm like, but you voted in Hamas, or at least puppeted up Hamas, and then Hamas goes and does this atrocity, but why are you not taking to the streets and going against Hamas? I never understood that, by the way, and I asked around, and I was waiting to kind of see over like the years of like, is somebody gonna, I guess a year or so, is somebody gonna mention that why are the Palestinians not taking to the streets and saying, look, we've had enough of this crap, like we don't have water, we don't have food, we don't have electricity, we got nothing. and it's all due to this terrorist organization that we helped puppet it up and the Iranians. It is like, where are they? Like, why? I understand maybe they're not taking arms because maybe they don't have weapons and firearms there. But why are they not going out in the streets? And the other argument to that is, well, Hamas will kill them. They'll just kill their entire family. Well, I'm bringing you this. There was a protest that took place most recently, and it was awesome to finally see something like this. A rare anti-Hamas protest erupt in Gaza as residents call for peace. It's about time. I don't know what took so long, to be hand to God honest. Again, different culture, different environment. Totally get it. Probably fearful that a terrorist organization that you help uplift is going to kill you and your family. That part I get. Maybe you don't want to go out. Totally understand that. Gazans took to the streets Tuesday to call for an end to Hamas's rule. In a rare display of opposition to the terrorist group, protesters marched through, no idea, in northern Gaza carrying white flags, demanding Hamas end its rule and calling for the Israeli hostages to be released. Folks, this is massive. And there's video footage of it. This looks like it was done by a cell phone. I saw a different angle. This is big because you could get to a situation where Israel is being given intelligence of where these Hamas terrorists are, and now you can start wiping them out, and you don't have to kill Palestinians, by accident or on purpose. I don't know what the hell they're doing. I know that they're doing stuff left and right, and it's killing a bunch of people. And that's what I've been saying is like, dude, if you just do mass protests and Hamas realize that they don't have the power anymore and that all these people are going to oust you and you're completely effed, Israel could come in and then they could be more tactical with their killings and take out the terrorists and leave you guys alone. I mean, that just makes sense to me. Easier said than done.
الآن يهتفون برا حماس تطلع برا من أمام مستشفى الأندونيسي كما تشاهدون شمال قطاع غزة. الناس انهكتها الحرب ولم ينظر إليهم أحد كما تشاهدون. شعب غزة لا يريد الحروب كما تشاهدون. الناس عامة الناس تسأل عن أنس شريف مراسل قناة الجزيرة. عامة الشعب لا يريد قناة الجزيرة. ها هم كما تشاهدون. عامة الناس تطالب بإنهاء.
We're just screaming, but it's nice to finally see this. I don't know where this has been for a while. Again, I get the fear of it. Easy for me to say that behind a camera and a microphone. I'm not the one there. I don't have my buildings being, blown up and destroyed. You have people writing on X here. The tide is turning. What many in the West do not realize is that these people are the people who are not part of the Hamas elite, so they suffer the most from war. Yes, it's never the politicians that suffer. It's never these elites or whoever's at the top. It's always the bottom people that have to go either fight the war or receive some sort of tail end of the atrocities of the war. It's just horrific. It's terrible. Hope they'll be safe. Have you seen? I have seen far too many horrific cases of what happens to those who dare to openly defy Hamas. And that's what I keep saying is that maybe they didn't want to come out and do that. But people are saying it's incredible. It's about time. This is exactly what I'm saying. Some people are also saying that it's fake. They are from Hamas, afraid of Israel. That could be true as well. I think all of it can be true. It doesn't have to be mutually exclusive. I think it all can be true. So that is good news of what's happening there. And like I said, maybe there'll be more intelligence coming out and wanting to get rid of the Hamas terrorists that are embedding themselves in the apartment buildings and people's basements or underground, reveal the tunnels. I mean, Israel, we just reported yesterday or the other day that Israel just got done killing like a dozen top Hamas leaders. So that is always good. We have a morning brief here. It's more like a rapid fire style of news segment, which I always enjoy. We got different news coming out from Signal. We all talked about that yesterday. The Signal, where they're talking about allegedly, bombing the Houthis over, cutting soda from SNAP, and EPA deregulation. So we got a lot of stuff coming out here. Here's the first one. We got the group chat leaks. The group chat leaks is what they're calling it. Top line, national security officials were on Capitol Hill yesterday, where lawmakers grilled them on how a journalist was added to a group chat about military operations. And now they're doing damage control, where around 2 weeks ago, a user named Michael Waltz added Atlantic editor-in-chief Jeffrey Goldberg to a Signal group chat where Trump's national security officials discussed upcoming strikes on Houthi terrorists, the fallout from the compromised series of communiques in Washington and in the national press have been substantial. Now, I was told, and we also watched it, that I believe Jeffrey Goldberg is not going to reveal what exactly sensitive information, like the details of it, were in that text line. So good on him for keeping that under wraps. Mind you, if it was classified information and he was still in there, probably go to jail. Could be wrong. Not a lawyer. Don't know the law well myself, but I would imagine that you don't want the back of the federal government down your throat. The back of the federal government. You get it. Senior official, several senior intelligence directors with the Trump administration were already set to testify before the Senate on Tuesday. The hearing naturally became all about the Signal chat, with Democrats accusing Trump officials of exposing classified information and the officials defending the administration. CIA Director John Ratcliffe downplayed the severity of the leak in a heated exchange with Senator John Ossoff. So that happened. Ratcliffe insisted that there was nothing inherently wrong with national security officials discussing military plans at Signal. It was approved under the Biden administration. One of the first things that happened when I was confirmed as a CIA director was Signal was loaded onto my computer at the CIA. Also want to point out that never a big deal when Joey does it. It's never a big deal when Democrats do something, but when Republicans do the exact same thing, all of a sudden it's a big deal. And that's always what's been weird to me, is that when you talk to a Democrat, again, a lot of people maybe haven't. Most of us have. The reason why I bring that up is most of us were, I should say most of us. I know a lot of Republicans and conservatives started out Democrat and then became conservative Republican. And there was this phrase or story that I heard a while ago, is that, you know, we understand why Democrats are the way that they are and why they run around in ignorance. And we understand it because we used to be ignorant ourselves. We were on that side. They can't say the same thing. Very few people go from Republican and conservative to being a Democrat. It usually is the opposite. They go from Democrat to conservative Republican, which actually makes a little bit more sense because the way that the founding of this country was created is on small government, to not allow government to tell you what to do. It's there to protect you, and that's pretty much it. And to handle, you know, obviously the purse and the coin and all that stuff. We don't need a civics lesson. But they've never been on our side. So they actually don't even understand. They don't even talk to us. They don't understand our agenda. They don't understand our plan. They don't understand how we function, how we work. They don't understand any of those things. So it leads to just pure ignorance on that side where we came from them. But I don't understand why they're not able to comprehend. Don't you think it's a little weird that whenever we do the exact same thing you did, you have a problem with it, but you didn't have a problem with it when you were doing it? How does that correlate to nowadays? Because they always want an example, right? Because they can't use fucking Google themselves. It always just blows my mind. They can't use Google. They don't know how to use a keyboard, I guess. Punch it in, dude. They are complaining about Doge. So Trump is now utilizing Doge. Not a peep when Barack Obama wanted to do it. He put Joey to handle it. Not a peep. Not a word for years. Nobody said anything about it. Hell, nobody even knew that Barack Obama wanted to implement Doge because nobody cared. It's like, yeah, that's fine. Everybody's cool with it. Unbelievable. National Director of Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, also a member of the chat, told Virginia Senator Mark Warner that there was no classified material that was shared in the Signal chat. Also, here, cutting fat from the budget, food lobbyists are fighting tooth and nail to stop the Trump administration from limiting taxpayer subsidies for junk food. The Trump administration has made a strong push to restrict soda, candy, and other unhealthy options from purchasing being made with SNAP, commonly called for food stamps. I couldn't agree with this more. You shouldn't be buying crap with food stamps with somebody else's money that's being given to you so that you could survive. You should be buying healthy food. Proponents say this is necessary in light of America's obesity and overall health crisis, and chiefly about how taxpayer money is spent. Federally, these changes have discussed openly by HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins, who plays a key role in administering these benefits. There are also numerous bills in the House seeking to restrict junk food and soda from SNAP. Now let's go to the chat, baby. Put a Y in the chat if you agree with Trump here to remove food stamps for junk food. So yes, you agree food stamps should not be allowed to be used for junk food, or no, you think they should be allowed. Let me know what the chat says. Y and N, baby. Let's go. Bump the chat. Okay, there we go. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. You know, somebody might surprise me in here, and that's okay. If you put an N, nobody's going to harm you. We're not Democrats. We're not crazies. We're not leftists. You're going to be fine. You put an N. I wouldn't even call you out, say your name, like, oh, you put an N. That's it. That's it. There's no harassment here. I don't even think there's a single N. Wow. There you go. There you go. And the crazy thing is, there's a lot of Republicans, by the way, there's a lot of conservatives, Republicans on food stamps. I just don't think you should be buying crap food. The movement has picked up steam on the state level. Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who has a great book, by the way. If you haven't read her book, I highly recommend it. You'll actually understand Trump a lot more if you read her book. Has asked the feds to allow her state to restrict SNAP. Lawmakers have made similar moves in Idaho, Kansas, Arizona, Indiana, Texas, and Wyoming. There's a common theme there with those states, if you notice. Not many of them, if not at all, are blue states. Because blue states like wasting money. They love just throwing money, hand over feet. In related news, West Virginia has just passed a bill that bans a number of food dyes often found in junk food and sugary drinks that will affect the soda industry, to which a strong opposition campaign to that bill. Yeah, but what's weird to me is that you guys, they make sodas overseas for the same Europeans that don't use the dye. That's what I think is weird. I don't know what the opposition is. It's like, wouldn't it cost more money to add in all those ingredients? Maybe because it's fillers and it's cheaper. I don't know. I'm not against it. I think it's always best to have products that are cheap, that are healthy would be nice. Eating kind of healthy is kind of expensive, to be honest. Buttering Trump up, the American Beverage Association at ABA, which represents all those big soda companies, gave money to Trump's inauguration. Well, Trump also loves freaking Coke, right? Trump loves Diet Coke. He has a freaking Coke button, so it makes sense. I mean, the guy's the biggest sponsor for them, as they have for past presidents. Coca-Cola, PepsiCo, and Keurig Dr. Pepper have directly engaged with administration officials, talking up their commitment to zero sugar options and clear product labeling. Now, I cut soda out a long time ago. And by the way, if you're a soda drinker and you're able to cut it out, you'll lose like 10, 20 pounds in like 2 weeks. It's wild how much weight you'll lose just from cutting out sugar in general. You have to detox, but man, you'll feel it. This one. Boo, baby! EPA cuts spending and regulation. Oh God, thank you. I am so tired of the EPA. Can we just get rid of it? Can Doge just completely eliminate the EPA? I always share this story, and we'll get into it, I promise. But remember how there was this invasion happening for 4 years under the Biden administration? And we always talk about this because it pissed me off. Karine Jean-Pierre, Joe Biden, John Kirby, Jake Sullivan all came on the podium and said, we're doing everything we can to curb illegal immigration. It's just a tough situation. They never called it a crisis. It was never an invasion, nothing of the sort. And so to help actually stop it, Governor Greg Abbott and Doug Ducey, one or the other, I think both of them did it at one point, put in shipping containers, and it might have been Doug Ducey of Arizona, put in shipping containers in the desert, by the way, in the desert, nothing but dirt. You're looking around, not a fucking building in sight, just dirt. Put in shipping containers to build a makeshift border wall. And so while the administration was saying, hey, we're going to get rid and stop the flow of illegal aliens coming into the country, which they were lying about, at the same time, they were utilizing the EPA to go out and take the shipping containers out of the desert and complaining you're ruining the environment. That was their claim. The animals, the plants, the air. All the while, Joey left freaking thousands of pounds of steel rusting in the desert for years. Not a peep. That was cool. That was fine. It's okay. It's okay. Just going in there. Yeah. So they had to get rid of the shipping containers. It was ruining the environment, you guys. It was terrible for it. Oh, so bad. Yeah, people are being harmed left and right. These idiots. You can't even dig a hole anymore with the EPA getting down your ass. That's dead serious, by the way. If you dug a hole in certain places in California, you could be fined. a hole. That's not an exaggeration, by the way. That's a real thing. The second Trump administration could oversee one of the largest shifts. Oh, baby, I'm getting riled up. I love this. In environmental policy in over a decade. I'm getting choked up. So great. EPA Chief Lee Zeldin is leading the transition with an aggressive effort to cut extensive climate regulations. This right here, anything to do with climate was a massive money laundering scheme for Democrats. The Trump administration and Zeldin in particular are aggressively attacking Democratic climate policies and green programs. It's all part of the president's stated goal of energy dominance. Quote, I'm here to fight for part of that Trump mandate earned on November 5th, Zeldin told Fox News' Laura Ingraham earlier this month. I do want to check really quick if there's no clip. Okay. Sometimes I would like to show you guys rather than me reading it. There are more people who can't afford to be able to heat their home, to purchase a car. Small businesses that are struggling to operate. People have been put out of work, and it's going to end. Zeldin wants to reform and repeal dozens of the most burdensome climate rules. That includes, for example, Biden's electric vehicle mandate, which is just asinine to me, that aims to force, by the way, that's a key word there, heads up, force a radical change to the automobile market, with half of new cars being sold all electric by 2032. This is where I keep saying that Democrats and the crazies love shouting stuff into the sky, both literally and metaphorically. I'm not exaggerating. In about 2 hours, they will be on the boulevard screaming at the sky and Tesla's going by. 100% real. Folks, the people that mine the cobalt and the actual metals that go into these vehicles have already said, like years ago, by the way, this is not possible. You actually can't mine the metals and the necessary ingredients to make these vehicles fast enough. It doesn't exist. But this is what happens when they just shout stuff. They don't think about it. They don't talk about it with anybody. It's just they wake up one day and go, 2032! And Joey thinks that he leaped into the future. Boy, oh boy. Zeldin's EPA has also set its sights on Obama's 2009 endangerment finding. That rule essentially set the basis for the EPA to police greenhouse gas emissions in the United States and spawned a massive amount of environmental regulation. Zeldin also cut and reclaimed funds from climate programs, which I love. In a cabinet meeting on Monday, he said the EPA had cut over $22 billion worth of contracts. Boom, baby! That's what I'm talking about, which had also previously been going to. Love that. Trump's energy secretary, Chris Wright, has worked alongside the EPA to greenlight a lot of oil and gas projects, which we need. And Wright has also been cutting regulations on energy producers, so much so that oil and gas executives are re-engaging on green investment, renegating on green investment pledges and pausing the transition to green energy that Democrats have wanted. This is huge. This is why Trump was saying you got to kind of weather the storm until you actually see the benefits. You know, you reap what you sow. It takes time, but we're so in a society where everything has to be that instant gratification that you need that time to work. You need that time to cook so you can actually have that dinner at the end. Now, we might all be wrong here. This is the problem. You could give him time to cook. You could give him time to do all these things and it still doesn't work. Things could be so far gone that he could do all these things and still not work. You know, I'm holding out hope here, but you know, it takes time to, hey, we got that permit that was from a long time ago. There actually was oil down there. Now we got to get the insurance companies involved. You also got to get the contracts in. Then you got to get the labor to go out there. Well, the labor sometimes is hard to find because of the insurance. The labor is also hard to find because of the regulation. So you got to strip both of those and limit that. Then you got to get them to go out there and actually drill the stuff. That all takes time. That's not happening in a weekend. That probably takes years and years, but you got to get it going. And the other problem is, well, say there's no Republican after Trump, you're going to have Democrats that are going to go back and put forth all this stuff. And then the oil company's like, well, shit, here we go again. Here's all the stuff. Hey, all right, boys, you're all laid off. Everybody's going home now. Yeah, turn the rig off. Dismantle the thing. We're going home. Trump's energy secretary, Chris Wright, again, is doing the Lord's work out there. There was also a major court case punishing Greenpeace for its extreme protest strategies. Last week, it was found liable in a nearly $700 million judgment for helping violate protesters, destroy, and vandalize property in their attempts to sabotage the Dakota Access Pipeline. The trial revealed that Greenpeace USA organizers had trained protesters and even purchased supplies that protesters used to commit illegal acts. None of us are shocked here. I mean, you know, the Democrat, how do you know they're Democrat? It's Greenpeace. What the hell are you talking about? Who else would it be? Like some people are right, well, 44% of the country is independent. Independents don't act like this. What the hell are you talking about? Don't throw independents under the rug like that. They don't act like knuckleheads. Give me a break. It's a constant theme of one group of people doing the exact same thing, and they all start with a D and end with rats. Give me a break. Oh, yeah, well, you guys did January 6th. Fair. Wow, you got one thing in 100 years. Sick. Good for you. Go notify the newspapers. Let the media know about it. Oh, you guys got January 6th. Yeah, do you want us to go through the laundry list of all the fucking other things that you've done, the shopping list of things that you've done over the course of your time as a party? Really? Unbelievable stuff. You have here a push, which is interesting enough, from the Daily Wire. Ben Shapiro wants Derek Chauvin. That's the guy that put his knee on the back of, I can't remember the guy's name. Forgive me. Now it sounds bad, but George Floyd, that was his name. George Floyd. Well, there's a push here by the Daily Wire's Ben Shapiro to try to get the case overturned and, well, not really overturned, but Derek Chauvin to get a pardon from Donald Trump. And I understand why Trump wouldn't want to do it. He has a lot to work on right now. This would kind of overshadow all the great things he's doing. Do I think Derek Chauvin was wrongly prosecuted? Actually, I do, believe it or not. I really do. He was trained for that maneuver. It wasn't an uncommon maneuver. And from the autopsy reports that I've read, there's multiple, but there's one that says that it wasn't the drugs. There's one that says it was the drugs, but the one that has the drugs in there was a lethal dose of drugs, like massively lethal. We don't need to rehash that. But here's the clip between Stephen A. Smith and then Ben Shapiro discussing the Chauvin debacle, where he wants him to be pardoned, basically.
Ask you this. I mean, if you looked at, you said before that you didn't look at the autopsy report. You're not taking a lot of time looking at the evidence or the autopsy. What would it take for you to change your mind on the case? Or is there nothing that could change your mind on the case because you saw the tape, for example?
Well, it wouldn't take much, and this is why I said this, because normally I would look at the autopsy reports or whatever. You know, I saw people bringing up his arrest record. I saw people bringing up fentanyl in the system. I saw all of these things, and all I could come to, Ben, fair or unfair, was that none of that matters if he wasn't on the ground with a knee on the back of his neck for 9+ minutes. Because I'm looking at a trained police officer who should know better. I looked at the experts who were saying, with their trade, there was no reason, and you saw it, I'm sure you saw this, and not to say that you would embrace it with the level of sincerity that others may, because I know the level of skepticism that you look at when you see the news outlets, and by the way, I don't blame you. I'm with you on that, okay? But I would say to you, listening to experts talk about how police officers are trained and pointing to the fact that Derek Chauvin had no business being in that position and putting George Floyd in that position, particularly once he was handcuffed and contained. To me, that, along with the ultimate outcome, is all the evidence I need. And that's where we might differ.
I mean, that's totally fair if we differ on that. I guess the question I would ask you is, given the fact that that was a Minneapolis Police Department trained protocol, given the fact that Floyd did ask to be removed from the car, I mean, in the lead up to the situation, the part of the tape that nobody watches, he was actually outside the car. The police officers move him inside the car. He says he's claustrophobic, and then he claims 6 consecutive times that he cannot breathe while he's in the car. So if the idea is that it was the police officer's knee that deprives him of breath, he was already claiming that he couldn't breathe inside the car, suggesting he was already in the middle of some sort of medical event, right? And then he was brought outside the car. I guess the question that I have for you, again, is what level of evidence would need to be shown for you to get to reasonable doubt? I mean, you seem incredibly certain, right? All I'm saying is that the reasonable doubt standard is what pertains in criminal justice. What would it take to get you to reasonable doubt? Or is there no reasonable doubt that could be achieved simply by dint of the fact that he had his knee on his neck? By the way, it's not for the full 9 minutes. There are minutes where it's on his back. I mean, even the prosecution acknowledges that. The real question is, I think, the last 50 seconds, right? The last 50 seconds of the tape where Floyd stops breathing and Chauvin's knee is still on his neck. That is really the question as to whether this goes into criminal charge territory. Otherwise, he ends up being in a position where he's actually just using a typical subdual technique before you put the guy back in the car and you take him off to jail.
And I'm saying to answer your question, there's absolutely nothing that could convince me that Derek Chauvin deserved a different outcome because of what you just articulated, what we saw, even if it's for the last 50 seconds. I'm not changing my position.
So it's an interesting push by Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire to want to focus on the Chauvin trial. And I understand it from a point of, if you truly do believe that he should have never been prosecuted, he never should have been tried, and that you think that he was wrongfully through a type, would it be type 1 or type 2 error? I'd have to think about it. But that, I guess it'd be type 1 error, right? Because you're rejecting the premise that he was innocent, so you're proving that you're accepting the fact that he was guilty. Maybe type 2. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. That, you would want to push that because you think the guy is absolutely innocent. Now, I do agree. The last part of the tape, I mean, you're still sitting on the guy when he's dead, which is alarming and messed up. But the question is you have to have the evidence to prove that he actually led to the death of this individual. I'm not so sure that's actually the case, but I don't know. Whenever you say like, oh, I don't know, I'm not sure. I'm looking at both. I don't have all the proof. I wasn't there. I don't know. But I agree. I don't think Trump should touch this for a while. Maybe at the end of his presidency, but even then he'll have to evaluate it, because if his presidency is looking good, you don't want to tarnish that with something like that. So yeah, I think just at the end of the day, maybe you shouldn't touch it. Maybe you shouldn't touch it. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, folks, hit that like button. I greatly appreciate all the patrons in the chat. We got a good turnout this morning, which is always nice to see. A big turnout, big turnout. We have chaos erupting at DFW Airport. A woman is running naked through the terminal. I can't show you this. There is the video here, but I'll read it to you. Let me see if I can pause it where she's like behind. There we go. If you guys want to see it, I'll actually put it in the chat for you. Because I can't show it on YouTube. Woman goes nude. So it says, after an incident involving a woman disrobing and running through Terminal D at Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport. By the way, I don't know if she's attractive, so boys, careful, ladies. Was captured on video. Public reaction range from humor to concern, highlighting the event's unusual nature. Various speculations of the motives or mental state of women have circulated, but no official statement or detailed account confirms these specifics. Some people are into some kinky stuff. Maybe she just is kinky. You know what I mean? She wanted to have a bender, like, I'm gonna get naked. I get that. Or there's a mental health issue going on here. It's not exactly normal to go derobe yourself in public like that and start running around, but that's what she was doing. And here's the thing. I mean, there's kids around, and I don't know. People are on so much drugs these days. I don't do drugs, so I don't understand it. Maybe some people do, but I don't know. Furthermore, you also got Trump is attacking the Atlantic, media integrity in question. President Donald Trump, this is coming from 7 hours ago, so we were all sleepy when this came out, has publicly criticized the Atlantic, claiming it's failing and likely to go out of business soon. Believe it or not, early on in the Bald Brad Show, we used to cover the opinions of the Atlantic and kind of shred them to pieces. And I was thinking about that this morning because there's a lot of news coming out in the Atlantic. I'm like, man, I haven't done an opinion piece and really dissected it for the audience for probably 2.5 years. It's been a long time, and I really love doing that type of stuff. So maybe we got to incorporate that this week. We'll see if we could find a good article, and we'll go back to our roots and start depicting and dissecting and these articles. The statement was in response to the recent incident where the Atlantic editor Jeffrey Goldberg was inadvertently included in a sensitive group chat, which we keep covering here. So Trump says it's failing. It's going out of business soon. Get this clip for you guys.
Goldberg's bad news. It's the Atlantic. It's failing. It's probably going to be out of business soon. And it's a terrible magazine. They made up all sorts of stories about me with standing over the graves of soldiers. There's nobody that treats the military better than me, and they treat me well too. They showed that in the election. But they write stories. It's such a disgrace. And there are plenty of others also. But Goldberg's a loser. His magazine's a big loser.
Sorry, I can't keep laughing over him, but he's a loser.
And what it was, we believe, is somebody that was on the line with permission, somebody that was with Mike Waltz, worked for Mike Waltz at a lower level, had, I guess, Goldberg's number or called through the app, and somehow this guy ended up on the call. Now, it wasn't classified, as I understand it. There was no classified information. There was no problem, and the attack was a tremendous success. So I can only go by what I've been told. I wasn't involved in it, but I was told by, and the other people weren't involved at all. But I feel very comfortable, actually.
Oh, there you have it. Donald Trump, the man, the myth, the legend, is, well, he's doing his thing. He's doing his thing. He's calling people losers. So probably not the thing that's always best, but, you know, it's baked into the cake. That is our boy. That is Donald Trump himself. So a lot of reports are coming out today about the Atlantic. So I'm sure a lot of people will talk about it on their podcast. So be aware of that going on. But mind you, nobody wants to talk about, again, the fact that that one Democrat, Jasmine, what was her name? Jasmine Clunkett or something. I don't know what the hell her last name is. Doesn't even matter. Calling Greg Abbott Hot Wheels, which is, you know, and so again, Donald Trump doesn't even make fun of a disabled person. He gets called out for making fun of a disabled person. A Democrat is out there in the open on camera, literally making fun of a disabled person, calling them Hot Wheels and joking about it. And nothing from Democrats. Crazy. Crazy people do crazy things. Robin says, they screech to the skies. These are my pronouns. Listen to me. When in fact, no one cares. No one gives a rat's tushy. Exactly. But yeah, I think it's their, look, folks, it's their world. We just live in it, right? They want to be center of attention. That's why they do all these parades. That's why they have to dress up and play around and run naked through airports and all this other stuff. It's like, leave people alone. Go on your merry way. You don't need to highlight the fact that you're this or that. I don't care. I'm trying to live my own life. Go live yours. Just stop trying to inject stuff into me socially and just leave me alone. Well, that is today's episode, folks. I really appreciate all you hanging out with me. I know I say that every day, but I'm sincere about it. And I think it's important to acknowledge everybody in the chat. And, you know, again, I apologize yesterday for coming on to Dark MAGA late. I know you guys are understanding. Some people yesterday were saying I don't need to apologize. But again, I value your guys' time. And there's no way to me to communicate that, hey, I'm not going to be on Rumble. I guess I could have posted on X, but not everybody follows me on X. So we were live yesterday for an hour and a half. It's still up if you want to join it. Still there. If you're curious on what Dark MAGA is, it is I guess it's rated R. Depends who's in the chat, to be honest. But it's a way for us to express ourselves a little bit more different than we could do it on X as well as YouTube. Like we could be a little bit more spicy and go over a lot more fun because it's only with Rumble Premium people. So you got to buy Rumble Premium. In doing so, you are supporting a company, but I know we're all in a pinch a little bit. Mizzy says, you guys have a wonderful and safe day. Love that. We don't need a edumacation. We don't need no thought control. There you go, Craig. Love it. There you go. All right. Should we raid somebody again? What do you guys want to do? Let's post it over here. If you're on YouTube, let's head over to Rumble. If you can, we got to raid somebody. Let's do somebody new today. Who we doing? That's what she said. Who are we doing? I'll post, the browse future. Who we doing over at Rumble here? Look at us, man. We're pretty high up here. We're right here. I mean, these are all the big wigs, right? These are all the big boys. Who should we raid today, folks? There's Mike Crisp. But he looks like he's actually on like an actual TV.
We're going to be back to regularly scheduled daily programming very soon. We have some announcements that we are super close to being able to announce. They should be able to be announced in the next couple of days. There's a lot of rumors of what I'm doing or where I'm going or what I'm, planning.
You want to do MAGA Allen again? Right here?
Oh, I make money.
You guys want to go? You guys love going over there, huh? All right. That's what you guys want to do. We can do it. I just feel bad because I've been rating him the last couple of days. I don't know if he might think that's a little much. Like, Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes when you keep rating the same person, it's kind of like, hey, okay, like you got your shout outs, like you're good. You know what? I'm going to send you. Yeah, he's great. Yeah, I would like to do somebody new. It's to help small creators. So here, let's do this. Let's go. We'll raid somebody and then everybody hop over to Alan's show. Does that make sense? That way, there's just not many choices. We're so early in the morning. It's like really Alan and us, to be honest.
Allergies.
Let's do
I'll
this
tell you
guy.
what.
He's actually a TikToker, a little bit of a bigger. Oh, he is so big. Let's rate him. We get some people from him. Let's rate him. He's the guy that does the Trump impression. So I would say let's do this. We'll rate him for a bit, and then we can all head over to Alan's show and give Alan some love as well. I think that's a cool idea. That way we could get some followers here that give us some recognition for the Bald Brad show, and then we can all hop into Alan because Alan's usually live for a while. All right, here we go. It's a game plan, baby. It's a game plan. I appreciate all of you. I hope you have a lovely day, though. Thank you. Yeah, this is cool. Thanks for helping me, too. You guys helped me plug the show, which is freaking awesome.